What is up, y'all? Goofy Rexy here, and hope everybody is doing well. And welcome, guys, to the weekly headliner update, week number 38. Now, if you're new to the weekly headliner, this is where we discuss what is upcoming this week in Marvel Strike Force, and then we recap the important topics from the previous week as well. Now, we got a lot of stuff to talk about this week, one of which being the Luminous Blitz, which is going to start on Thursday. Going to be your first chance here to blitz for either Cloak or Dagger to get those Luminous credits to open up the shards for either one of them, whichever one you want. We're going to talk about numbers here that you should be targeting as a free-to-play player, where you're going to be able to get both characters unlocked through both the Strike Pass and Blitz. We're going to talk about what numbers you should be targeting. And also, of course, last week, Strike Pass for Cloak and Dagger was released. Not what we expected. A lot of confusion there. And of course, a lot of that was because of ambiguity, right? So we're going to talk about that as well. Warlock officially returns this week. Second time here that this legendary event is rolling around. We're going to talk about that. And then Omega Red officially confirmed gonna be a legendary character. Did they get the legendary kit right? And it looks like this team is gonna be countering Heroes for Hire, which is a definitely massive big deal. We're gonna talk about that and so much more, guys, on this week's weekly headliner update, and we're gonna start right now. All right, welcome back, guys. If it's your first time coming to the channel here and you would like to see some more Marvel Strike Force content, then consider hitting that subscribe button. Also, hit the notification bell so that you will know when my videos do go live. And then down below, guys, in the description, there's a few other links that are there as well. One where you can join my Discord. You can also take a look at where I found my Twitch link is down below. So follow me there, guys. I do stream Marvel Strike Force and also Twitch. Marvel, of course, I stream on Twitch, but I stream Marvel Strike Force and Marvel Future Revolution content as well. And of course, my Twitter page, my Facebook link is down below. A link also to my Patreon where you can support my channel there as well. And also Amazon coins. If you're looking to save some money here on your Marvel Strike Force in-game purchases, then Amazon coins is definitely the right way to go for you. But jumping into our first topics for this week, which are going to be our character blitzes, right? The first blitz this week is going to be for Neymar. That's going to be tonight. Now Neymar probably not the most important character in Marvel Strike Force, but I think that there might be a possibility now that he's going to be a little bit more relevant. I actually know a lot more players are actually using Neymar in the game because they're using them on their, either using them with X Factor, or they're still like a comp, like a hybrid comp where they're actually using them with maybe like Zemo, or using Neymar with like Silver Surfer. So Neymar definitely does still have some viability in the game, but of course, just an opportunity here for you to get some extra shards for Neymar. Now, the most important blitz probably for this week is going to be for these two characters here, Cloak and both Dagger, because there's going to be the Luminous Blitz that's going to start on Thursday. And that's going to be a pretty big deal, especially if you're a free-to-play player looking to be able to get some extra shards here for these characters. This is definitely going to be a big deal. Now, this is not going to be an individual character blitz. They're going to be changing up the structure here. We actually have some information from the blog post if you haven't read it already. But you know, they mentioned it here on September 23rd at 5 p.m. Pacific time. It's time to dive into the Luminous Blitz featuring Cloak and Dagger. The usual character shard rewards have been replaced by Luminous credits. Use those credits to open either the Luminous Cloak Orb or the Luminous Dagger Orb, each of which rewards 5 shards for the specified character. Now, this will be the first of the 2 runs of the Luminous Blitz, each rewarding Luminous credits, and each blitz features the same number of character shards as a typical character blitzes here. The total number of shards possible from each blitz is equal to all character blitzes. You'll actually get 25 from the milestones instead of 21, but you should choose Cloak or Dagger shards that you want. Also, a reminder that there will be two strike passes from the Luminous credits. The first one featuring Cloak character shards and the second one featuring Dagger character shards. So basically, it's pretty self-explanatory, right? For the milestones, you typically get 21 shards through by completing all the milestones. And then, of course, you have your rank reward. So the way they're going to be breaking this down here is they're actually going to be giving you 5 orbs this time, which is the reason why they mentioned that you're going to actually get 25 from the milestones. So it's going to be 5 orbs, and you make a decision as to which character you want to open up those orbs for. That's pretty self-explanatory, right? And then when it comes to these Blitz Rankings, so Blitz Rankings have changed recently. So if we take a look at the most recent Blitz, which is the Ghost Blitz, right? Let's take a look at the rewards here, the rankings the reward rankings that you get. So for 1 to 100, you're getting 100 shards. For 1%, you're getting 100 shards. 2 to 3, you're getting 55 shards. 4 to 10, you're getting 45 shards. So my understanding of this, and of course they made these changes where, hey, if you take a look below, 11 to 20, you're getting 35 shards. 21 to 30, you're getting 25 shards. 35, 25, 20, 15, 5, so on and so forth. So my understanding is from the Blitz rank rewards, you're going to be getting the same amount of luminous credits that will equal the amount of shards that are currently here. So if we're following kind of what numbers are going to look like here, let's take a look at the last Ghost Blitz, which, by the way, I will say that the numbers were a little bit off here. For instance, the 1 to 100 cutoff was 48 million. The predictions that they had stated that it would be 51 million, which was about 3 million off. They also talked about how 4 to 10% would be 14.1 million. And I'll show you, that's actually where I landed. And I only got 8.7 million on this Blitz because I really didn't need to get that many shards for Ghost. So numbers were quite off here. So I'm hoping that they're going to be able to fix this and kind of give us some more accurate predictions here. And you guys can help, of course. They do send out a poll that talks about, okay, so let me know where your numbers were, and that does help them to make these predictions a little bit more accurate. So when you see that stuff go out in the Discords, do enter your information in there so that people will know. It gives them a little bit more of an accurate way to kind of predict where numbers are going to land. But with that being said, if you're doing the strike pass, both strike passes, you're going to be able to get a total of 100 shards, regardless of whichever character it is that you choose. You're going to be able to get a total of 100 shards for just in total, right? And if you go through your blitzes here, if you do all the milestones, you're going to be able to get at least 25 shards each, which would then go up to 50 shards, which would need that in order for you to get an unlock of the character. If you're going free to play, you need an additional 50 shards. So in order for you to be able to do that, you are going to need to land in at least in the 21 to 30% range to get yourself 25 shards. Now, based on their predictions, that usually lands, that's about 8 million or so. It's about, I think you're probably gonna, this may be right for this new event. For Ghost, it was a little bit different. I think a lot of people maybe potentially already had Ghost, and maybe that's the reason why the numbers weren't that high. So I do think that potential chance that the numbers probably will be somewhere in this ballpark here. 5 million, sorry, it would be 5 million to get to 21 to 30%. I think that's probably where you're probably going to want to land in order to get an additional 50 shards in both of these blitzes to then get the unlocks for the characters that you get the unlock for both of these characters. So hopefully this is helpful information for you here. That will, of course, allow for you to get the 100 shard unlock for both of the characters. I personally don't like the strike pass. There's we could talk about that really briefly here. There's a lot of ambiguity with the strike pass. We originally thought that with the strike pass that we were only going to be getting, because they mentioned in the strike pass that you were going to have an opportunity to unlock, to get 50 shards of either Cloak or either Dagger, when in reality, they're giving you these individual shards for Cloak, which, and of course the next one is going to be an individual shards for Dagger, which is 20 in total. And then you get an additional, you get the Luminous credits where you're going to be able to get the additional 30 shards, which will total your 50 shards for one strike pass if you're going free to play. But it wasn't really either or, right? This one is Cloak, and then the other one is Dagger. So it was really a lot of ambiguity where that was concerned. But this is just emphasizes how the strike pass is really not a very good method of release for them when it comes to these characters. I don't personally like it, and I wish that they would consider that a little bit more. If you're going to be doing these strike pass releases, then there has to be some other way to get shards here. But it looks like for both of these events, if you're at least able to get in the 21 to 30% range here for both of your blitzes, and also collecting all the milestones, and of course doing the free to play way route of the strike passes, that you will be able to get the unlock of both characters. So figure out what you need to get to, guys. See the sort of activity that you need to get here, and then hopefully happy Blitzes. Like I said, man, I just don't like the strike pass release. I think it's really kind of a terrible way of releasing new characters. I like it better when the character's already been released, and then you then have the opportunity to then get some additional shards through a strike pass method. That's the way that I kind of look at it. But appreciate you guys here. Let's go into the next topics. All right, and yes, as we talked about in the beginning of the video here, Adam Warlock is coming back around. Yeah, so Listen, you can say what you want to say about Adam Warlock. Maybe he's not mythic legendary-esque, which BT dub. I believe you. I completely believe you, by the way. That Adam Warlock is not mythic legendary-esque. With that being said, though, he's still a good character in Marvel Strike Force. Very helpful for me in my final Dark Dimension 4 run when I went through the legendary section. Added him as a 5th character. Hey, I was able to kind of cruise through it quite easily through all of the nodes, really. Every single one I went into took at least 3 less attacks. I think the last node only took me about 3 attacks. The first time that I did it, it took 9 attacks. A lot of that has to do with red stars on some of my legendary characters, but either way, he was able to help with his ability to extend buffs, being able to stun, being able to apply disrupt to Thanos, and for preventing him from taunting and being able to take out Ebony Maw in the last node. So really, still a good character. Maybe not mythic legendary-esque, but he is on the best team in Marvel Strike Force right now. So what can you say? With that being said, congratulations to those who are going to be unlocking Adam Warlock. Also, congratulations to those who are going to be ranking up Adam Warlock. I myself, I'm going to be able to get a 6-star Adam Warlock. So looking forward to that. Just gives me a little bit more staying power here, right? Gives them, my opponents, a little bit more of a challenging way to get through Adam Warlock. So it makes it it's a good team. So that I'm looking forward to. There is double drops right now going on for the X Factor characters that you need to farm in order to be able to get them. Polaris, of course, is in the Cosmic campaign, and of course you have Multiple Man that's in the Doom campaign. So do take advantage of that. Maybe if you're looking to get some extra shards, maybe refresh some of those nodes as well. Keep in mind this event is going to be going on till Wednesday, but like I said, congratulations to those who are going to be unlocking Adam Warlock, and of course those are going to be upgrading Adam Warlock as well. Definitely a team that you're going to need to be heroes for hire with Shang-Chi. All right, and I would say one of the biggest things that happened this past week and information that we got here was Omega Red officially confirmed coming to Marvel Strike Force here and coming to Marvel Strike Force as a new legendary character. Very excited for it because initially when they talked about the rework and Omega Red come in, I was very reserved about my thoughts and thinking that this was going to be a good team. But after seeing his kit, after seeing some of the video content here, and after hearing too that both Wolverine and Sabretooth are also going to be having not just a rework, but they're all are kit rework, but they're also going to have these stat buffs, significant stat buffs. They said, I am quite excited about this team, and of course them also being able to counter heroes for hire, which we're going to talk about with Omega Red's kit as well in this section here. So, but let's talk about some of the highlights. Let's just jump into the highlights, right? So first and foremost, villain character. My God, we needed another villain character in Marvel Strike Force. How long has it been since we had a villain character? Over a year? It's been a while since we've had a villain character in Marvel Strike Force. So very excited that he's going to be a villain character. One of the things I want to point out, of course, or one of the other highlights, is that he's not tech. So I know a lot of players are saying, hey, why is Omega Red not tech? Like, based on the origin in the comics, it's not tech. But I've read some of the comics. It seems as if, though, I would have made sense for me if he was a dual tag, right? Like a mutant and then the tech tag. That would have made a lot of sense to me. But I guess I kind of wanted to steer away from that because I didn't want to present him as a character that you could use in multiple areas. And maybe, but if you were thinking about Doom raids, like maybe not necessarily a character that you're going to want to use. I don't know what it was, but it chose to stick with a mutant tag. He's a global character, but also controller. Oh, if you ever are running out of controller ISOs, guys, here's another character that you can add to the controller list for these ISOs. I just ISO Green 5 my cloak. I'm working on ISO Green 5 in Jubilee. I gotta bring up Phoenix to ISO Green level 4 because of these new war changes that are gonna be coming, right? I'm gonna need to bring them to ISO level 4 for them to be war ready. Ooh, man, here's another controller character that's being added to the list as well. I know y'all are in the struggle bugger just like me too, so no, I just want to share. This is a session, guys, where we're sharing together about how we feel about these controller green ISOs. But he is a controller, and like I said, his kit does look really good. Weapon X, and of course, a legendary tab. But let's go through some of the stuff, some of the highlights here in his kit. First thing is that he's a war, or primarily gonna be really good in war, right? You see the rest of his kit. He actually does have some viability outside of war as well, but specifically, they are creating this Weapon X team to be a strong war team. So that answers the question. Is this a raid team? No, they're not presenting it as a raid team. You may be able to use some of them in raids, or maybe able to use him in raids, but he's primarily specifically geared, not specifically, but they're making him stronger and more powerful here in war. So a couple of things to highlight with his kit. He has these health steals, 15% health steal, redistributing, this is specifically in war, stealing 15% health from all enemies and then redistributing to self and all Weapon X allies. You have this increased focus here. You have this increased max health. You have this increased damage that you're getting from his passive kit. These passive kits, man, they are like books. They're like books. I'm not going to read through the whole thing, but these things are massively like books. While any enemy has immunity, all Weapon X allies, they gain 40% crit chance. So I'm assuming that most likely there's going to be some crit with some of the other characters. Obviously, probably characters with the bleeds, like what is it? Wolverine, I think, already has crit built into his kit. Definitely you can probably see that with Sabretooth, Deathstrike. Probably a lot of them are going to probably have some sort of crit chance that's going to be there as well. He's lowering damage for the enemy on spawn, speed bar fill that they're getting as well. And then there's this new buff or debuff that's gonna be introduced right now into the game, which is called Trauma. Now, the way that Trauma works, so it's like Safeguard. Remember Safeguard, or we already know Safeguard, right? Safeguard is where you, with Infinity Watch, where you cannot remove positive effects. With Trauma, it's actually the reverse of that. You can't remove negative effects. So the enemy is not going to be able to remove negative effects themselves. So the negative effects that you apply to those enemies, when they have trauma, they're not going to be able to clear those negative effects off of themselves. And that's a big deal. And that's the reason why this team is going to be able to counter Heroes for Hire. Because you know, Heroes for Hire, once they get below 50% health, they're going to be able to clear those negative effects and then re-heal all the way up to full. Well, that's not going to be the case here with trauma being applied to them. And if we look at some of his abilities and what he's able to do, some of the debuffs that he's going to be able to land: ability block, slow, heal block, reducing speed bar as well. To the other, that's to the primary target. To the all other enemies, he's going to be applying slow, heal block, and then also reducing their speed bar. And he's also going to be able to do this: flip all positive effects to negative effects for all of the enemies. And while he's doing that, he's also applying trauma to all enemies as well. So this is a big deal, right? This is a big deal. This is a direct counter to Heroes for Hire, and I like it. The Heroes for Hire with Shang-Chi, they're amazing. Even though Shang-Chi is bugged, still an insane character. Still insane character to go against here. So personally, I actually really do like that they have built this into his kit. And this is something that he's going to be able to do here. Listen, I like it. It frees up maybe your Infinity Watch to probably go after some other teams. There's a lot of players that are putting Infinity Watch on defense. So maybe you need your Infinity Watch team to then counter Infinity Watch. So therefore, now this frees you up to have Weapon X that you can now use against those Heroes for Hire teams. So like that as well. Do want to point out a couple of things with his kit. He's landing some ability block here with the special ability as well. He's doing another health steal. He's going to be able to steal health on every single one of his abilities. Basic ability, he's stealing 10% health. With his special, he's stealing 5% health. With his ultimate, he's stealing 10% health. Do want to point out a couple of things. He's only able to steal. The only ability where he's stealing health and then redistributing to other Weapon X allies, or any other allies in general, but specifically Weapon X allies, is going to be with his passive ability. That's the only time that he's going to steal and then redistribute to the Weapon X allies. Other than that, with his ultimate, he's just stealing and then redistributing to himself. So it's ultimate, stealing and redistributing to himself. Special, stealing and redistributing to himself. And then basic, stealing and redistributing to himself. So only with this passive ability and in war is he going to be able to steal the health from the other enemies and then redistribute to all of his allies. So just want to point that out to you guys too. And then trauma. He's only going to be able to apply trauma on his special ability. The only time that he can apply trauma to anyone else outside of war is with his special. So just keep that in mind when using him. But either way, I do think that his kit is still pretty strong outside of war. I think that because of the health steal, that does make him a very good Dark Dimension character too, right? Because that steal is important, being able to take that health. I think that this also makes him a very good Dark Dimension character, and he's still going to be increasing the duration of bleed, slow offense down with his basic attack. You have some other things here that he's still doing outside of war, so still a good character outside of war. Definitely for me personally, I think this kit is a legendary kit. I like it. I think that this does make him very, very, very strong as a character here. And I think probably just based on the kit, you guys can take a look at it here, might be the best legendary that we've had in a while here. Yes, Jubilee's great. Yes, these other characters are great, but I do think that based on this kit, that he might be one of the best legendary characters that we've had in a while here. Now, in terms of the unlock requirements, they did talk about that here as well. And this is actually pretty interesting. So there's going to be, because this is a mythic legendary event, you're going to need to use another legendary to unlock him. So that legendary is going to be Nick Fury. And let's talk about all the characters, right? So Nick Fury, Winter Soldier, and then the 3 Secret Avenger characters at 5 stars in order to be able to unlock him. The only thing about Nick Fury that feels bad is that you're going to have to farm Kree minions in order to be able to unlock him. And I think there's a lot of players who are just like, man, just give us the Kree tag. The Kree minions, it's just not a good feel. You're going to see where my Kree minions are and how much I've disrespected my Kree minions on my roster here. So there's Kree, there's minions. As you can see, I haven't even upgraded them to 6 stars to even do the 6-star version of the unlock here. They're just not great characters. But if you take off minion and just leave the Kree tag, the options that you have available to you are significantly better, right? There is Phyla-Vell, there's Minerva, there's Captain Marvel, there's even Ronan, there's Korath, who a lot of players use on war defense with their Mercs team. There's a lot of other characters here, so I really think that this is something that they should revisit. It feels better when you have to use characters that are actually usable and good to unlock legendary characters, as opposed to having to use bad characters to unlock legendary characters. It's not a really great feel. So would like to see them make some changes here and include the entire Kree roster. The other portion of this too is there's Winter Soldier. I'm going to show you my Winter Soldier too. I used him for the event. I already have him at 7 stars. I already have him at 7 stars here, so I'll be able to get him there. I just have to work on the other characters that need Secret Avengers in order to get them the 5 stars or the 7 stars eventually in the future to unlock a 7-star Omega Red. But I don't know, Winter Soldier, one of the things that some of the players are saying is that it would be nice for him to get a little bit of a touch up, right? The Secret Avenger team, maybe give him the Secret Avenger tag, make him viable, maybe not in Doom raids, but make him viable in probably war, give him like a war buff or something of the sort, make him a little bit more usable again. I remember we used them for the event. There was some event that we used them for here. We had to use Captain America, Falcon, Winter Soldier. Would be nice to kind of give Winter Soldier here just a little bit of a buff to make him a good character that can be used. I know that a lot of people use them on their Hydra team, but he's just not really a character that's recommended to use right now. So it would be nice to see him get a little bit of a buff here, a little bit of a work. Now with the Secret Avenger team, so those are the other 3 characters that you're going to need here to unlock Omega Red. With that Secret Avenger team, I don't know. I'm curious as to where they're going to land these characters. I do want to say that Captain Sam was released through the Strike Pass. You already know how a lot of us feel about the Strike Pass releases. They ain't good. They're not great, right? So it would be nice to get my man Cap Sam into a place that is at least easier accessible. But of course, he is the best character on the Secret Avenger team. All of them do something really good on their team, though. By the way, they're viable in raids. They're viable in war. They're very, very, very solid team, in my opinion. So, but Captain America Sam was released through the Strike Pass, so I would like for him to go into a node. So Polaris was released through the Strike Pass, right, and she went into an earlier node. Would like to see Captain Sam receive the same treatment and a little bit more timely, but of course, with it being the first legendary release of Omega Red, they're probably not going to do that. For Sharon Carter, she was the last event campaign character. The previous event campaign character was Shatterstar, that you had to use for legendary unlock. They put him into the arena store or the arena orb. Now, I don't think that Sharon Carter will go there because they just threw Phyla-Vell into the arena orb. So I could definitely see potentially maybe Sharon Carter going to another store, maybe the war store. Maybe she can probably maybe she'll go to the raid store. I don't know. There's a few other areas where I think that they definitely have some options to throw Sharon Carter, since she was the event campaign release character. And Maria Hill, I think either Maria Hill or I think one of them are going to go to the store, right? Sharon Carter or Maria Hill. I think maybe Maria Hill or Sharon Carter could kind of interchange depending on who you decide to go with. But I'm definitely seeing that at least one of these characters are probably going to go to a late game node, maybe in a Doom campaign, right? There's a problem in this game. There's not enough campaign nodes for you can farm characters, but I know in the Doom campaign, they're not going to take away multiple, man. They're not going to take away Yellow Jacket, because you need Yellow Jacket to get Jubilee. You need Jubilee to get Adam Warlock, but they're not going to make that easier. You need multiple man to get Adam Warlock. They're not going to make that easier, but in chapter 2 of the campaign here, you got Proxima here. Probably doesn't need to be there anymore. She could probably go to a node, on the earlier node. And then same thing with Squirrel Girl. Probably not really needed here as well. I can see them probably taking out Proxima, Squirrel Girl, putting them into an earlier node, and then making them farmable there. Also, in chapter 3, there is this Catalyst node. I just thought about this. There is this Catalyst node. They could probably easily throw Maria Hill or Sharon Carter there, right, to make them farmable there. So those are kind of my thoughts here in regards to where I think maybe these characters will go. We'll see exactly what happens, but overall, Omega Red, very good character. Weapon X team looks very strong. Omega Red looks like a legendary. He looks like a legendary. Gotta take some more time to analyze the kit here, but looks like a strong Heroes for Hire counter. And of course, I'm definitely know that I'm going to be putting in as much effort as I possibly can to try to unlock Omega Red for sure. All right, and a couple last things to follow up on here for the week is that we have this Unstable Elements, which is starting on September 22nd. That's going to be Wednesday for us here. Don't miss the limited time opportunity to power up your teams by completing select daily objectives. Here's how it works. Elementary Particles currency, achieve an isotope breakthrough by earning limited time elementary particles. Event currency by just completing select daily objectives, Blitz, Raids, Arena, and play 3 ISO 8. I play 3 Isotope 8 campaign. So obviously we're currently doing this already right now. The Carnage event is going on. We're trying to get the Carnage costume, get the bits, get all the stuff that's in that milestone there, right? So we're doing blitzes, we're doing raids, we're doing arena. You're probably doing, well, maybe not blitzes, but you're doing blitzes right now anyway, so that you can get complete your real-time arena. And I just thought about this a little bit earlier too, that these blitzes are probably gonna tie into the fact that you're going to be blitzing for the Luminous credits too, right? So that kind of is going to match up and add up there. But then of course they have this Elementary Particles event store. So the event store is coming back right now. If you look in the store, the Fire Essence store is gone, right? So this is going to be a new event store that's going to be featuring the Elementary Particles, where you're going to be able to use those and purchase T2 blue, T1s, the ion orbs. You're going to have all that stuff going on there. So something to take a look at on the 22nd. I guess something that is going to contribute, of course, to the activity that you're doing here in the game. So that should be good overall for players who are looking to get those blue ISOs, and of course being able to fill out those controller ISOs, which we see is going to be a big deal now, right, in Marvel Strike Force. A few of the events that are going on this week is that we have Relica that's going to come up at the end of the week here. So that's where you're going to be able to get your catalyst, right? You're going to need your hand team in order to be able to do so. So there's also going to be a double drop event for the hand characters that are in those campaign nodes. So keep a lookout for that as well sometime this week. I personally am happy that the alpha raids are back, so that's something that's going on this week as well. So alpha raids are coming back, baby. I was sick and tired of this gamma raids, so I'm pretty much done there. But that wraps up pretty much everything that we wanted to talk about here in this week's video. Let me know if there's any other topics that you guys wanted to discuss or talk about here. Leave that in the comments. Final thoughts. I think, like I said, I don't like the Cloak and Dagger release method. I think it's probably one of the worst release methods that I've seen them do here in Marvel Strike Force. It looks as if, though, from a free-to-play perspective, that you're going to be able to get 100 shards for both of the characters. It's just going to take 2 months for you to do that. That kind of feels bad, right? If you're probably doing these Doom raids right now, not great. In the past, they have had some better free-to-play methods of releases for characters. I would have preferred them to have gone in that direction, in my opinion. Also do want to say Omega Red looks like an amazing character. I'm glad that they're bringing in another Heroes for Hire team. Omega Red himself looks very, very, very legendary, and that's a good thing for his overall team. And it looks like the other characters are going to be coming in, probably going to have something to do with some of the crits and that are already built here into his kit, and of course probably being able to land some extra debuffs, and with Trauma not gonna be able to take off those debuffs. So curious to see how that team is going to work here, but definitely think that they should take a look into Nick Fury, Winter Soldier, some options there. Change the method that you need or characters that you need to unlock Nick Fury, and then for Winter Soldier, give him some buff, make him a good character. At least doesn't need to be great, but make him a good character so that we can feel a little bit better about having to G14 him to get a 7-star Omega Red later on in the future, right? That's something that we need to talk about too, or that they definitely should consider as well. And of course, all of these other things that are going on in the game right now. Congratulations to those who are going to be unlocking Adam Warlock. But appreciate you guys watching the video. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, share the video as well, guys. Leave a comment. I appreciate you guys so very much. Y'all be blessed and y'all be safe. Whew. Where is my water? I need some water.